All right, my friends, we last time did not finish the Dvar Malchut of Parshat Bo. I want to say something right now. First of all, there will not be classes this week. I'm going to be going to the Rebbe, and my time schedule will be totally different from now. So I can't promise that there'll be a time schedule at all. I don't know exactly what's going to be demanded of me over there, but I will put up classes on the Zoom. So if you look into our Zoom account, I'm sorry, on YouTube. If you look on our YouTube account, which anyone who wants to, I'll put the information up. Anyone who wants in a YouTube account, as you'll see the the classes. I'll put up classes that I gave last year, which are relevant to this time right now. And I'll also try to make new classes for now. So it could be that they'll need more information, but it will not be at the regular times. And I hope this doesn't interfere with the attendance in the actual classes. But I'll put it up. We have a WhatsApp site, and there's information. Menachem controls it, and then we can I'll put up any new news that there is. But in any case, all new starting from tomorrow at 3:00, I'm going to give a class, and I'll repeat what I just said now. It's going to be on YouTube until next Tuesday morning. Next Tuesday morning, I should give a class. I'll be arriving here at 5 a.m. I should give a class. Okay, let's go. Okay, so if you remember, last week we didn't finish. We're almost finished. It was very beautiful, though. And the Rebbe explained that Moses went into Paro with God because God wanted to do something unusual. Moshe had been in Paro by Paro a lot of times before. But here was something special. God wants to enable Moshe to embody these revelations, the highest possible revelations of godliness that can be, which are symbolized or which are indicated, whatever, by the word Paro himself. The word Paro means to be open. The word Paro means to be open. So he wanted to give Moses this power of godliness that he could bring it into the world, and that he could, by means of this, fix up the world. We see how confused the world is if they don't have any sense of why we're here, or value of life, or value of meaning, or any sense of blessing. Everybody just does what they want. And the only way to fix it up is by the Jewish people. And the Jewish people are outnumbered 500 to 1, who knows, 1,000 to 1. And the Jewish people themselves, inside of each and every Jew, the good and the Jewishness inside of every Jew is also outnumbered 500 to 1 in the Jew himself. And that's why we have to have Moses. Moses is the little bit of good which is inside of every single Jew. And by the Jews doing what they're supposed to do, it reveals the little bit of good which is inside of every human being in the world, every human being's conscience. What's called the 7 Noahide commandments. So this is what was accomplished. That's what we learned up to now. We can understand the limud, what we can learn now from this idea of Baal Paro, that Moses was told by God, come with me to Paro. I'm going to give you these big lights. What can we learn from this now? Dover come upon, we said before, that all of the projected ends of when Moshiach is supposed to come have already ended. They've already come. We've done everything. There should have been the Geula, the future redemption should not have been future. It should have been in the past. It should have happened a long time ago. And again, just to keep everybody in tune with what's going on. What is the future redemption? Future redemption simply means, as far as we can understand, that all of the good, which is inside of each and every one of us, all of the love, all of the intelligence, all of the practicality, all of that's how do you say, the power, courage, ingenuity, which is in each and every human being, and it's in each and every human being differently, will be revealed. And because there's no end to good, so there's no end to the ingenuity and the genius and the courage and the love the care which is in each and every human being. And uniqueness, every person is unique. Every person's smile is unique. Every children's eyes are unique. To bring this out and to appreciate the appreciation, that everyone will appreciate everyone else. Tremendous appreciation. Everyone will be positive in building. Everyone's attitude toward life and toward will be only good, only positive, only alive, only happy. That's the Geula that we're waiting for. Why? Because God will be revealed and God is creating us. Says that should have happened a long time ago. Which, according to reasons which are not understood at all, they have not come. When the Rebbe says it's not understand, it means that he also doesn't understand. They're not understandable at all. Why are we still suffering? Why is it that such terrible suffering in the world? People are dying, people are sick, people are crazy. The whole world is crazy. So this we can say, now it has to come immediately. It hasn't come up to now, so it doesn't mean it's not going to come. It means for sure it's got to come now. Another Rebbe said this 30 years ago. This is the highest time, the hechstra zeit, for the redemption. Every single instant we have to be saying this. There's two ways of looking at the world, right? In a, how do you say, a b'diavad or lechatchila. The b'diavad means it shouldn't be this way, but okay, what can we do? Or lechatchila, this is exactly what God wanted, that it should be this way. But immediately now, it has to change, right? Let's not regret the past, not ruminate over the past. Let's not let the past control us or drive us crazy or depress us. But on the other hand, don't let it, we have to, how do you say, we have to learn from the past and not burn from the past. I just made that up. What do you say? We have to learn from the past, the positive things. We can't let the past drag us down, because the future is much, 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 much greater and more real than the past is. The future, there's going to be the redemption. When is that going to happen? Now. How can it be? There's already been 2,000 years everybody's saying that. I told you not to let the past get you down. Didn't you understand what I said? Don't let the past get you down. Oh yeah, okay, good. So Geula is going to come any single second. But I said that yesterday, and it didn't. Don't let the past get you down. It's not an easy thing to do, and I'm not saying that I do it myself, but I'm telling you what the Rebbe says to do. Well, I hear
30 years ago.
Zman, see that we're talking about the highest time. Rumors is hinted at the whole idea of Geula, that the time itself, Hakashur and Medirav Agbala, which time is limited, past, present, and future. Naseh will be time itself will be the highest time. Ofen she'en lamayla mimenu, a time which is nothing above it. Kolomar, in other words, sha'gvul, namely limitation, time, which we said is Egypt, right? Atzmo, time itself becomes unlimited. Ad la'ofen, until such a way, she'en mitachtim mamash, that it all becomes unified. Al derech Dvar, like it says before, be'inyan is periu kol ha'nahorim, there's revealed all of the lights. It says that before a person dies, that his whole life is just like one little second, right? In one little second. Why is that before he dies? Because that's the fact. The fact is our life is one unit. From the beginning we were born until the end, what we did, what we said, what we thought, what was the things that built the world, and what were things that didn't build the world? What were things that were decent and what are things that weren't decent? What the things that we did in their life. That's one unit. One unit. So if so, past, present, and future is all happening at once at that time. Now we're stuck in the present. The present seems to be very, very small. But in the future, the present will grow more and more so that we'll be able to fix up anything that we missed in the past, and we'll be able to make a new future that's totally alive. We'll be living with the Creator above limitations. How this is going to be, we'll see. The main thing is on the limit of physical time. In spiritual, until we get to the highest level of spiritual, there is already a completion of the Shleimus Geula. It's already there. The prophets, for instance, Isaiah Ezekiel, they were prophesizing the future. They were prophesizing when Mashiach is coming. How could they prophesize? How did they know? But they were guessing. They saw what was going to be. It's always going to be for sure. That's a true prophet. The spiritual eyes of the Jewish people can already see the prophecy. Like we said, and we just finished saying in Bati Lagani, everyone, the garments will be removed. Now, all we have to do is just open up our physical eyes, that they will see the future redemption. That's a little bit problematic. Kafishi begilui, any basar that will be revealed in the future right now. Kamuva, and like we can understand, simply Ikara Bakasha, the main request, the Gaguim, and our longing for this redemption will be so low, not from the spirituality and the soul, because the spirituality and the soul, they're already all fixed up. They're already spiritual, everything is okay. Right? Okay, so there's the Holocaust, that the soul goes to heaven and it gets fixed up and everything is okay. That's not what we're looking for. Spiritually, everything is fixed up. That's not what we're mixing. What we're longing for is that physically in the physical world we should see this completion. But calling if spiritually everything is okay, even though a Jew is found in his soul and his body in this physical world, Hari Mitzad and Neshama, the spiritual part of it, we don't feel the darkness of the world, right? The spiritual, which is not the case, but Gashmis and Yanim, which is not the case, the physical things of the world, of the body. Sham, the main thing is we can feel the concealment. The soul, our Jewish soul, is always a Jewish soul. You can't touch it. That's why Jews were willing to give their lives for God. They felt that their lives in this world, it meant nothing compared to the soul. The soul is the main thing. The soul is complete. The body just makes troubles. So the Jews were willing to give their physical life for God because the spiritual life is always, it's eternal. It'll never die. But that's not what we want. We want it to be in the physical world. When we feel that the world is concealing over godliness and it's concealing over the redemption, so this arouses a gaguim, a longing for the future redemption in a way that's very, very strong. The novelty in this future redemption is the Geula that there will be revealed also in the physical world, will be seen physically. Any basar. Now we have to open up our eyes to see the redemption. In the future, when it's going to happen, we can even close our eyes and see the redemption. It says the flesh will see. Not only our eyes will see, our arms will see, our hand. It'll be a physical place. There'll be a dwelling for God in this world. I mean, just think about it. If God is really creating everything, so it should be, we should see and feel a little bit of this amazing miracle that's happening in everything. Says the Rebbe, the soul feels it and sees it, but the body doesn't feel it. But that should be it's just a small veneer of lies that's covering it over, a small veneer of egotism. And this is the completion also of spiritual loch, and therefore in the future, the soul will get fed from the body. Why? Because therefore, the future redemption will come. A Geula Gashmias will bring a Geula B'kol Olamos and all of the worlds. The physical world is really the highest. That's where the whole thing is taking place. The whole, how do you say, the God's will and God's attention is on this physical world. Like it says, Ikar Shechina B'taktoni Ma'isa. God's main attention is on this physical world. So the world should not be a detriment or an impediment or a concealment of the truth. It shouldn't be. Even more, only in this physical world can be revealed the truth. If in this world is missing completeness and health and joy and happiness, it's a sign that the whole entire business is messed up. What are we supposed to do? Here we go. In regard to what should we do? Wonderful ideas. The Rebbe got us all excited. What are we supposed to do? Because we are now in preparation for the days of Yud Shvat. Like I said, Yud Shvat is going to be Tuesday night, the day of the passing away of the leader of our generation, Kish and Osefes Aliyah, when there is an elevation in the leader of the generation, which is Kavod Kedushas Morichami, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Al Yado, by means of him, but call on Sheador, through him are all the people of the generation. Nashei Ador, the women, the children of the generation. One second, I think I have a picture of the Rebbe. Just give me 1 second, one moment over here. 1 second. Give me a moment here. Let's see. Is this going to work? Oh, is this a picture of the Rebbe? Sure, there should be a picture of him. I'm sorry. It's such the Rebbe. Oh, here. Do you see it? It's not such a good picture, but maybe it is. Here. See? Previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. Amazing person. His life, and also the letters that he wrote, it's like King David. There's times where he's just praising God, and then there's times when he had tremendous suffering and tremendous, how do you say, aggravation from the whole situation that there was. He was in the whole in communist Russia. There was Jews, people getting killed all over the place, and then he was in the beginning of the Holocaust. He fled from Poland at the last moment, and he came to America, and there was the reform movement, and the Jews were just assimilating in America, and then the religious people, they could do nothing. They were helpless. They were just trying to keep away from the world as much as possible. And the Rebbe came and he turned the whole thing around. He said how precious every Jew is and how we must. And he had a lot of flack, like we learned just now in Bati Lagani, that when Shmuel Bar Yitzchak danced with these things, all the other great rabbis said, "You're embarrassing us. You're shaming us. How can you do this? Right? You're juggling these sticks just to make the bride and the groom happy." And that's what the previous Rebbe did. He did these crazy things, sent his Hasidim out to spread Judaism, and wrote the ideas of Hasidut, the deepest ideas of Hasidut in English, and sent emissaries to all these different places in the world. And everybody says, who does this person think he is? What's he doing? Right? He's shaming us. Says the Rebbe, because now we are connected to the ultimate leader of the Jewish people, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. And so therefore we have to make resolutions, good resolutions in regarding everything which the previous Rebbe demanded from us, beginning from Ner Mitzvah V'Torah Or, the commandments and the Torah. We have to learn more Torah, written Torah, the oral Torah, the Talmud. Learn more Talmud. Do you learn Talmud? Make a class. Attend a class. You don't understand what's being said? Take the rabbi aside and say, listen, I don't understand. What can I do? Maybe he'll say, you know what? Go to the local yeshiva, give him a couple dollars. They'll give you a boil, sit with you, and he'll learn Talmud with you 15 minutes a day, half an hour a day. He'll explain to you. Kiyam mitzvah zehidur. That's learning Torah, learning Hasidut, doing the commandments in a special way. Your tefillin don't have to be the smallest ones. They're the cheapest ones, right? Buy a nice pair of tefillin. How much does a nice pair of tefillin cost, right? Yeah, maximum cost $1,500 for the rest of your life. Right? You have tefillin. Make the tefillin the best. Give them to be checked once every 2 years. And I guarantee you, if everybody checks their tefillin, you'll discover that 90% of the tefillin are not kosher. And you'll find out. People buy you have to do the commandments in a special way. Whether we're talking about yourself or other people. Namely what? Put tefillin on other people. You don't want to go into the streets? Someone comes into your house to fix your refrigerator or something. Are you Jewish? Here, put on tefillin. Come on. Take them out of the box, right? It'll take you a couple of seconds. Don't ask a theoretical way with the tefillin in the bag. Take the tefillin out of the bag, right? He says, are you Jewish? He says, no, I'm not Jewish. Okay, your mother was Jewish? Yeah, my mother was Jewish, but you're Jewish. Roll up your sleeve, come on, put tefillin. It'll take 1 minute and it's not going to hurt you. Come on and do it one time. It's like giving a kiss to your creator, right? He gives you everything for free. Do something for him for free. Put on tefillin, and you'll see that people will do it. People will do it. Amazing. Just the other day, someone came to my house to fix the washing machine. a big guy. I said, come put on tefillin. I was sure 100% he wouldn't put on. I was sure put that. I told people, I've said this many times before, I've been putting tefillin on people for like 40 years in the streets. And I've developed certain senses. I can sense from a person from afar if he'll put on tefillin or he won't put on tefillin. I know, I have a feeling inside if he's going to put on. 98% of the time, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. The person does put on, but feelings I have. I told this to somebody else. I said, I haven't got a feeling. It's a sense. I can sense. He says, maybe you don't have a sense of that, but you have a sense of humor. But the fact, that's the fact. I'm telling you. I looked at this person. I was sure he wouldn't put on tefillin. I said, okay, Bolton, take out the tefillin and ask him. I came with a big smile, put on tefillin. Oh, sure. Okay. He says, oh, you know what? I'll do it after I finish working. I said, no. I'll put it off. I won't do it at all. Come, I'll put it on. I said, man, last time I put on tefillin, whoa, I don't know when that was, but he didn't remember exactly how to do it. That's what it means, spreading out Torah and Judaism. Go outside of yourself. Chutza, right? Learn a little bit with the person. Even if you just ask a person and he doesn't want to, at least he knows that somebody cares about it, that tefillin is important. Well, both in Baal Paro, in a way that we're talking about go into Paro. What does it mean? Paro, we said, is this high revelations of God, that every single Jew can become a vessel for the Asperio Kolanorim, not just Moses. Every single Jew can become a vessel to receive these tremendously high lights of God. The Shnei Oros Hagadolim, the two big lights. What are the two big lights? The Torah is Or. There's two big lights. When God, on the fourth day, God hung up the two lights, written Torah and the oral Torah. Nigla the Torah, Pinim Yisa Torah, the revealed Torah and the hidden Torah. Kololo miyuchad, especially by means of learning the Torah of the previous Rebbe himself and doing what he said. Calls out this Badgasha. The previous Rebbe wanted only one thing, that all of the Jewish people should act, speak, think, and feel Jewish. That's all. And from that, the whole world will get fixed up. But not only that, you have to be crazy. You have to go out of yourself as well. That everyone should accept on himself. Shalimu the Torah, that learning the Torah of the previous Rebbe, Yashlim will complete, the Malay and will fill. Gam ma shechaser, that which is lacking, bispashtus vafatzas amayanos, in general, in his spreading out of Judaism and his spreading out of Hasidut in general, and the spreading out. I'm not sorry. I made a mistake. Bispashtus vafatzas hamayanos, what is lacking in his spreading out of Torah, bigalal, because of menius vikuvim, because of whatever his impediment in speech, the Bali Lula. We talked about that before, that the previous Rebbe, he was paralyzed. He came to America, and he was already half paralyzed. He had to be brought in a wheelchair, and it got progressively worse until he couldn't speak. And the one, like Moses, just like Moses, covered peh, that Aaron had to do the talking, the previous Rebbe, so the Rebbe did the talking. So now we have to do the talking. We have to do the talking, whether it's by learning, and speaking when you learn, saying the words, or whether it is spreading out the well springs of Hasidut to other people. And even more detail, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, he devoted himself to all the different types of Jews, kafi and according to their level. Kafi sharao at the panim hatzaovot, when they saw the happy and the rejoicing, how do you say that, the happy and the positive face that the previous Rebbe showed to every single Jew, men, women, and children. Men according to their, women according to them, children according to them. Right? Everyone, the Rebbe had a special message and a special way of approaching them, right? Approaching them. And in this, who echad mechidushav shel nasi dorenu, of the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. That is last year's, especially Masar Nafsho, he devoted his whole soul. He sacrificed himself on spreading Torah and Judaism, and especially learning Torah and education. The Neshei Banos Yisrael, that the women and the girls of Israel, the Sheltaf, and even little babies of Israel, that the Dvar Chirush, the Nasi Israel, this is a new thing by the by a leader of the Jewish people, that he devoted so much time to even little babies, even little children, right? Telling the parents how to to educate the children, the atmosphere in the house. Hagam, even though Shematzino, that we find that there were years of great Jews in the generations beforehand, like it's known how to bring up children, etc. But this is Loit Kabel Eitzel Kulam. This was not accepted by everyone. And even those people that did take it on themselves to spread out Judaism and to also influence children, even non-religious children, they made a lot of different limitations, which is not the case for the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe. His pashtu had reached the Rebbe Makomos B'olam, to many, many places in the world. There's people that saw Jews, religious Jews, that never thought they would see. That was in my case, right? I was in the University of Michigan. There was no religious Jews over there. You didn't see a religious Jew over there. If there was, they kept to themselves. There was no Al Yadezeh by means of this, and no stuff. There was added Shalom Be'erich Limud Torah the Nesheo Benos V'Tav Yisrael. There was classes. Suddenly they made classes. This is before there was even Chabad house there. There was classes. Women came to the classes. They taught Torah. They taught ideas, very basic ideas, but they knew nothing. The people knew nothing. I knew nothing. This was a teaching. It has to be with all the types of the Jews. Anashim, women, children, men, women, and children. The Rebbe had the booklets made, things like that, for even little children. Chal, Sub, everything according to his ability. Hagasham Yuchedet, especially Pu'ula Shel Nashei Banot Yisrael, women and the girls of Israel and the children, Shenosav Lavodasam, not only did they work on themselves, Nifalas was made by adding Avodas, Kol B'nei Bayis, everyone in the house, including the men. Everyone would be affected by Torah, by Chassidut, by the commandments. To be proud of your Judaism, to be proud of the fact that you put on tefillin and that you keep Torah, that's your identity. What's the special of the children? B'kach and this, shetzorech lechanech otam, you have to educate them little by little, lefia kelim, according to their abilities, in a way that they're able to receive. There were summer programs, he made summer programs in children. Like it says, Yosef hechin lechem lefia tav. They said that he gave bread according to the children, the ability of the child. Bread in this case is Torah, and in this case, telva atav, the nature of a child is the pareret ochel, that he makes a lot of, how do you say, crumbs. By means of this, it could come, by means of this making the crumbs, it means that the food can come to others. The gam la'acherim she'enim yochelim now the kabel yoter me'asher piruim katanim. If you teach even children, so there's going to be a lot left over, and those leftovers, there's some people that say, well, look at these teaching children Torah, what is this Torah stuff? What is it? And they'll teach their children as well. Alder says similarly, Benagel and Nashea also to the women and the children of Israel, the women and the daughters, Be'enim, it was among the special commandments that the previous Rebbe said for women and for girls is lighting candles, the lighting candles of Shabbat and Yom Tov. Shazeo, this is also the novelty of our generation. Shenid Vosef, there is added a tremendous number of women that light candles of Shabbos and Yom Tov. By means of this, it showers up the houses and the world with Ner Mitzvah Torah, or into a way that, as Priyo Kolonorim, they're spread out all of the lights of godliness. Kenir, like it's explained, like you can see clearly. When you light a candle, the whole room becomes lit, illuminated with the light of the candle. But now, if you have a holy candle, that the girl made a blessing on it, Harihu Meir, it shines up on Shabbat, the whole entire room with holiness. Al derech inyan is Priyo Kol Ha'orim. Like just the same thing as Noah, as Moshe got this revelation from God, from Paro, it lit up the whole entire world. Which is not the case. Other commandments can be in a way that one commandment can be different from its other. Like, for instance, the rabbis say, Malei mitzvahs karima, says every Jew is filled with commandments like a pomegranate is filled with seeds. It's true that he's filled with commandments, but that each seed is different from the others, which is not the case lighting a candle. You light the candle, the whole room gets filled with one light. So, similarly, and the lighting the candles, it's the same by everybody. Also, it's understood over here how it is that by means of Nerot Shabbos Kodesh, the lights of Shabbat of the women and girls, there is added an additional commandment to all of the people in the house. Also the father, also the sons, the other males, and simply lighting candles of Shabbos, it opens up. It's an opening, shemachnisi, that it brings in the Shabbat for everyone in the house. And even after this comes the prayers of Shabbat and the Kiddush of Shabbat. Similarly, in even a more, is by means of lighting the candles of Shabbat, the Holy Shabbat, as we merit to children that are Talmidei Chachamim, that they learn the Torah. Like it says, Ner Mitzvah, doing the commandment of lighting candles, Torah Or makes the light of Torah. Al Yadei, by means of the doing the commandment of lighting the lights of candles of Shabbat, there comes the understanding and the light of Torah. We can say that this is also hinted at in the gematria, the numerical value of Ner. What is Ner? Nun is 50, Resh is 200. This is Ramach 248 positive commandments, which are permeated and led by means of the two the two pillars of love and fear. Near you light the candles, this brings to the 248 positive commandments how they are enlivened, invigorated by the other two, 248 plus 2, love and fear. In general, what we can learn from this is like this. The service of every Jew has to be in a way, the esprit kol hanoram, we have to spread out our feeling of service of God to others. Shekol mitzioto, that all of our being should be permeated with ner mitzvah v'torah or, that the lamp of the commandments and the light of the Torah. But who also, and he does with, in a way that his soul is healthy and the body is healthy. The dugmas Kohen Gadol, like the high priest, that he had to be complete in everything, like we learned before. Even if there is, God forbid, hefsek, even if there is, a break, an interruption, but Yerida and a descent, Bizman berega katan azatika, a person becomes, God forbid, not healthy, or he becomes poor, or he has troubles, and he can't, temporary problems, shechasar av oim, or a person is a child that's lacking a father or a mother. Why? Because the redemption has not come. There were several tragedies that happened in Crown Heights, especially. There was a woman that someone broke into her house and killed. Harizeh, you read it, this is just a descent for the sake of an elevation. How can there be an elevation from this? We'll see. It'll have to be something really, really high, because the low is certainly low. In order to reach a higher level in the revelation of Boal Paro, whether we're talking about the soul and in the soul, and the main thing in the household, sons, and mainly the daughters, that they should feel, that they should see to it. She malot b'hamshech, they should fulfill and to continue and to do the service, what they did, and when the person who passed away, and if to fill that lacking, you have to do it. Baruch hachadurim behem al yedei chinucham, she'al yedei zaro b'chayim afi b'chayim. Says by means of him, by the offspring being alive, as they're alive. The Rebbe is saying this also about the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, that he's not here physically in our body, and so it is with any family that they've lost a member of the family, someone's beloved to them. There's a tremendous, vacuum because of that. So we have to fill the vacuum by means of doing good things, and by means of us doing good things, as though they were alive and doing the good things. In general, by means of this, we can add more and more in the revelation of the soul, bebechinas Shoshana, a makabelis me'akodesh baruch hu hanikro, which calls Shoshan, ad shenase, until there was made a unification of Yisrael and God totally to be one. Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Sha'al Yudei Etzem Kabbalas, by means of our accepting resolutions. Now you have to realize that the Rebbe, when he said this, this is a very short time before he had his first stroke that rendered him also paralyzed, half paralyzed. We should get resolutions in regarding Yud Shvat, that each and every person should add in everything, anything that's connected to Yud Shvat, continuing all the things that the previous Rebbe pushed, doing Torah, doing commandments with every single Jew, men, women, children. Beginning, first of all, they should make a bring it on this day, and the day that comes before it, and the days that are after it, even before that. And then there will be, and we hope that even before Yud Shvat comes, before this Wednesday, that they will wake up and sing and be rejoicing, those who are now sleeping in the dirt. And the Lula Barushon, and the first Rebbe is going to be the first one. Immediately. That's what it means. Mamash, mem should be real, actual. You should be able to feel it. Like it's known that the tzaddikim, they will rise in the raising of the dead immediately. And they will be happy, and we will be rejoicing with them this day of Hilula. The previous Rebbe will rise up before the day he passed away, which is going to be Yud Shvat, and we'll rejoice with him. And some people say mamash really is Menachem Mendel Schneerson. But take it me out immediately. We'll come to this next week's Torah portion. B'shalach paro et ha'am. The Jewish people will go out with a yad ramah. They'll go out from the exile, and they'll go to the Holy Land, to Jerusalem, the holy city, to the mount, to the Harabayas, what is it? The Temple Mount, Hara Kodesh, the holy temple, and the Kodesh to the Holy of Holies. Hashem Yimloch L'Olam V'Ed, and then God will rule forever and ever, together with Moshiach Tzidkenu now. And let's do the Yom Yom for today. Yom for today and tomorrow. Right at 3:00, like I said. Okay, for those of you that won't be here for 3:00 again, classes will be on YouTube. There will not be classes this coming week until next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, there will be a class, God willing, at 8:15 in the morning. There will be a class. But I will put up classes, relevant classes, on YouTube, so nobody has to miss anything. You can tune in at the same time on the YouTube. I hope everybody has the addresses of YouTube. I'll put it up after, in the afternoon, 3:00 class, I'll put it up. Okay, now the Yom Yom.
Recording's on.
One second. The recording is still on. 1 minute. Is it on? Yes. Yes.